Los Alamos, New Mexico, May 21st, 1946. The war is over, but in the secret laboratories of America, a new and terrifying era of power has just begun. On a table, in the center of a room, lies an object that is almost divine and almost diabolical. It is a 6.2 kilogram sphere of plutonium, the core of an atomic bomb, nicknamed the Demon Core. 8 scientists are gathered around it. Physicist Louis Slotin is about to perform a critically dangerous experiment, a procedure his colleagues call tickling the dragon's tail. He uses the tip of a simple screwdriver to keep 2 hemispheres of beryllium separated, bringing the core to the brink of a chain reaction. Then his hand slips. The screwdriver moves. The 2 hemispheres touch. For a split second, the room is flooded with an eerie flash of blue light and an intense wave of heat. Ow. There is no explosion. There is only a terrifying silence. Louis Slotin, instead of screaming, looks at his colleagues and says with chilling calm, "Well, that does it. We knew he was a dead man." But why had this core already killed another scientist 9 months earlier, in almost the exact same way? If you love unbelievable but true stories, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, turn on the bell, and leave a comment to support this project. To understand what the Demon Core was, we must go back to the height of the Manhattan Project. This plutonium core, codenamed Rufus, was intended to become the heart of the 3rd atomic bomb dropped on Japan. But Japan's surrender, just days before the scheduled date, rendered the bomb unnecessary. The core, instead of being a weapon of mass destruction, became one of the most precious and dangerous objects on Earth, a laboratory tool to study criticality. The exact point at which a nuclear chain reaction ignites and becomes self-sustaining. The scientists at Los Alamos were the pioneers of a new and terrifying world. They were young, brilliant, and perhaps a bit too self-assured. They developed a series of experiments to push the core to the brink of criticality, using reflective materials like tungsten carbide to bounce neutrons back into the plutonium. It was an extremely dangerous game. A single miscalculation, a wrong move of a single millimeter, and hell would break loose. The first to learn this firsthand was a young and promising physicist named Harry Daghlian. August 21st, 1945. It's late at night in Los Alamos. Harry Daghlian, 24 years old, is working alone in the lab, a violation of safety protocols. He is manually building a castle of tungsten carbide. Bricks around the Demon Core. Each brick he adds brings the core closer to criticality. As he is placing the final brick, his instruments tell him the system is about to go supercritical. He withdraws his hand, but in doing so, the heavy brick slips and falls directly on top of the plutonium core. For a split second, the room is flooded with a flash of blue light. Daghlian, by pure instinct, knocks the brick away with his hand, stopping the reaction. But the damage is done. He has just absorbed a lethal dose of radiation. His right hand, the one that touched the brick, begins to tingle. In the following days, the horror unfolds. His hand blisters and swells monstrously. The nausea and pain are unbearable. He falls into a coma. The doctors, helpless, can only document his slow and terrible agony. Harry Daghlian dies 25 days later, the first victim of the Demon Core. After Daghlian's death, new safety rules were implemented, but not for everyone. Louis Slotin, a Canadian physicist, was a legend at Los Alamos. He was brave, brash, a true cowboy of nuclear physics. He was the one who had assembled the core of the first atomic bomb with his bare hands. He considered safety protocols to be for beginners. He developed his own personal technique for criticality experiments, a technique everyone else thought was insane. Instead of using precision machinery, he separated the beryllium hemispheres with the blade of a simple flathead screwdriver. His own colleague, future Nobel laureate Richard Feynman, warned him he would die if he continued. And so we arrive at May 21st, 1946, 9 months after Daghlian's death, as Slotin is demonstrating his technique to 7 colleagues. The procedure is the same, performed 1,000 times, slowly lowering the top hemisphere, maintaining a small gap with the tip of the screwdriver. But on that day, perhaps due to overconfidence, perhaps due to an infinitesimal tremor, his hand slips. The screwdriver moves. The metal of the 2 hemispheres makes contact. It is the scene from our prologue, the flash of blue light, the wave of heat. But what happens next is an act of pure heroism. Slotin, instead of recoiling, makes a lightning-fast move. With a swift motion, he knocks the top hemisphere away with his bare hand, breaking the chain reaction. He has absorbed an even more massive dose of radiation than Daghlian. But with that gesture, he likely saved the lives of the other 7 men in the room. He stands up calm, sketches the positions of each man in the room with chalk to calculate the radiation dose each received. Then, with surreal composure, he tells everyone not to move and goes to call an ambulance. He apologizes to his colleague Alvin Graves, who was closest to him, saying, "I'm afraid you've got a dose of it." Then as they leave the lab, he vomits. It is the first symptom. It's the beginning of the end. Louis Slotin's end was even faster and more devastating than Daghlian's. His parents flew in from Canada to be with him. He died just 9 days after the accident, after an indescribable agony. After killing 2 men in less than a year, the Demon Core was deemed too dangerous for any further manual experiments. A few months later, it was taken to the Pacific Ocean and detonated in the Able nuclear test of Operation Crossroads. Its legacy, however, was not just one of death. The tragedy of these 2 young and brilliant scientists forced the world of physics to change forever, leading to the creation of the safety, protocols, and remote handling systems that still protect those who work with the most dangerous forces in the universe today. If you love unbelievable but true stories, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, turn on the bell, and leave a comment to support this project.